Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Myers, and today I want to talk about dealing with drug addicts. Does our helping hurt? I've worked with drug addicts for over 10 years, with street people, alcoholics, uh, and I want to share some of my experiences with working with them. I came to Philadelphia in about 1994, 84, to go to Westminster Theological Seminary. And what I did is I bought a building, and you can see right here, that I thought I could start a church on the first floor and live on the second or third floor. And that's what I did in the Kensington area of Philadelphia. But to my surprise, there were a lot of street people there. Here's a view from across the street, St. Francis Inn, where they serve a lot of street people, a soup kitchen. And a lot of them would come over to our church service, and we'd have something for them to eat afterwards as well. And in the next slide, I want to show you a video about an interview with one of the people addicted to drugs.
In this neighborhood all my life. I was selling drugs since I was 9. And I got 3 brothers and 1 sister. And all my brothers, what I'm saying, we all broke the law in some way, and we all did drugs. But I don't live in the streets. I live in my house and stuff. But for some reason I stay out here. I just hang out with everybody because, like, I knew her for about 3 years.
We understand each other.
I knew her for about 3 years. We help each other and stuff. Even though we're still doing drugs and all, but like I take her to my house to take a shower. She changes, she eats and stuff, or she'll do it for me. I sold drugs. I was locked up so many times. And I don't know. I think I do drugs just to escape from reality. And plus, I like the high.
Is there any hope for you?
There's hope. Even right now, I still believe that one day I'm gonna stop. It's just right now I don't want to stop.
Notice what he said there at the end. I just don't want to stop. And that's the major problem. They're doing drugs, they enjoy the high, and they don't want to stop. A lot of people, they have to hit rock bottom before they decide to quit. And most haven't reached rock bottom. They enjoy getting high and their time, and why would they want to give it up? I remember I ate a lot of almond joy bars. I liked them. They tasted great. I just couldn't eat just one. I had to eat more. But when I went to the doctors, my levels, A1C was high, so I had to give up the almond joy bars and lower my A1C. But sometimes you have to reach that, or if you want to be a diabetic or not, you have to eat the right things. And so I did that. But a lot of them, there's no reason for them to stop. They enjoy the high. And they have to hit rock bottom where they decide, hey, I can't, it's not worth it. Some of the drugs I had to deal with here. Fentanyl, there wasn't any fentanyl then. This is back in the late 80s and early 90s. There was Tywall, which is something like gasoline or paint thinner or something they would call Tywall. And they'd put it in a little rag in their hand, and then they would bring it up to their nose, and they would sniff it and get high off this Tywall. They called it huffing. And that was the cheapest high you could get because like the gasoline or whatever was real cheap, and they would inhale that, and it destroys your brain cells. But that was a cheap high that a number of people would do that. And then there was crack cocaine. I remember driving around there, and it seemed like on every corner someone was selling good butter. And they say, get your good butter here, good butter. And it was like 90 degrees out, and I was wondering, this butter's going to melt. But I found out it wasn't real butter. It was crack cocaine that they were selling, and they had some good cocaine there on the street corners. And they were right in the daylight time selling it. Then heroin. I remember a guy came up to me, and I looked at his eyes, and they were pinpoints. And I thought, that's very strange. Then I realized that pinpoint eyes means they're probably on heroin. And if you have cocaine, your eyes are way wide open. And that's one way to tell what they may be high on. I've heard some people, they can tell you exactly what you're on by looking at your eyes. PCP, there was this very nice guy who got high on PCP. This is across the street from us. He grabbed a big knife and started lunging at people, and the police came. He lunged at the police. They shot and killed him. But he was told he was a very nice guy, but he was high on PCP, making him do strange things. In order to support their drug habit, a lot of them do panhandling. I see them on the street begging for money. A lot of them have some sad story, like, my mother is dying in the hospital. Please, I need some money to go see her. And someone told me that one time. I said, well, let me take you over to the hospital so you can see her. Oh, no, I don't want to bother you with that. Just give me some money and I'll go see her. Of course, he wasn't going to go see her, and she probably wasn't in the hospital. He needed the money for drugs. There was another guy who he overdosed on drugs there and got out of the hospital. He's out behind, and I saw him, and he still had the hospital tag on him, and I think they gave him some Narcan to revive him. And he was right back there out as soon as he got out of the hospital, buying more drugs to get high. Another panhandler, this guy was a big, strong, muscular guy, and he would go up to someone and say, give me $1. And it's like, if you didn't give him $1, he would beat you up. Intimidation. I remember the last time someone asked for money, he said, give me some money so I don't have to rob someone tonight. Well, that's probably true. He's probably going to rob someone tonight. I didn't give him any money, but it's sort of intimidating. Give me some money so I don't have to rob somebody. Then one night I got a call, 1, 2 a.m., I need money. And if you don't give me money, I'm going to jump off here in front of the L train and commit suicide. If you don't give me, I think it was $20. He was calling me on the phone here. And he wanted the money to do drugs. But he was, I could hear like the train. The L train is an elevated train that goes right by where we are. But he was going to jump off and commit suicide if I didn't give him money. And I forget it was to maybe see his dying mother or something. I told him you can come in the morning when we're open. You can get something to eat, and we can see if we can help you out. Then I think of this other couple helped out a homeless veteran right near where we are here. And they were going to give him money. They set up a GoFundMe account, I believe. And they raised a lot of money to help this homeless veteran. Well, the problem came out in the news that they raised lots of money with GoFundMe, but most all of it went to the couple that supposedly was supposed to help them. Very few of the dollars went to this homeless vet. Most all of it went to this couple, scamming people. So we have to be careful on all these different things that happen. Another way the drug addict gets money is stealing. Lots of stealing to get enough money to buy the drugs. One day I heard a commotion. I looked out the window, and here's this guy in front of a car. He stopped a car and was demanding him to open up the hood of the car so he could steal the battery. Well, the guy in the car must have been from Kensington, because he didn't take kindly to that. And he said he's going to run him over. So the guy starts to run, and the car starts to chase him. He runs on the sidewalk. The car goes up on the sidewalk, speeding up to try to run him over. And the guy dashes in the side alley and disappears. Well, that's one of the strange things that happens. All sorts of crazy things happen here in the Kensington area. Then my car battery was stolen. I had it chained down. But what they did is they bent the hood up just enough so they could take the battery out and steal it. Then we had someone come and work on our roof, and it was 2 stories up on a ladder there, and some guys wanted to steal the ladder, and he was on the ladder, and he was up 2 stories, and they started shaking the ladder so he would fall off 2 stories so they could take the ladder and sell it for drugs. Well, I had to run out there and chase him away and stop him from doing that. There was another time when I was preaching a service, and I think 2 people came in, one with a 2-wheeler, and someone had donated a stove that was in the back, and they put it on the 2-wheeler and took it out right in the middle while I was preaching. So I had to stop my preaching, and we had to run after them and get the stove back. Anything that wasn't nailed down was stolen at the church and outreach center. Even we had bars on our windows, and even with bars on the windows, they managed to pry it open and get in and steal some money and things. Even with bars in the window. We were like in jail. We had to have bars and everything locked up from getting stolen. We had one guy in our outreach center program, and he told us he would rob banks. And that's how he got his money, robbing banks. And he said it didn't matter if he got caught or not, because what he would do is he would get his mother to take a shoebox full of money, like $20,000 or $30,000, and go to the judge and plead and beg the judge to help her poor son, and she would give him the money, and he would be out. And so he would just continue robbing banks. then be back out on the street again. What happens is that people will steal or rob. They would be thrown in jail, and then they get back out on the street because they don't want to press charges. They may be afraid that they might do something bad to them if they do press charges. But a lot of them, it's a revolving door. They get arrested for something, put in jail, then are out in a few days. What some of them do is they would rob somebody or do something bad, jump on the L, go across town in a matter of minutes, be on the other side of town, and then maybe they'll throw a brick through the window and they'll get arrested for some petty crime that be out of when they did some serious crime on the other side of town and just jumped on the L and went across town fast. Then this one guy, I guess they got him drunk or something, and told him we could rob the drug dealer. Just down, a few doors down was a drug dealer, and he decided he's going to rob the drug dealer and get the drugs and money. And so he did, but they sent a guy after him after he left and shot him dead. This is some of the strange things that happen when you're doing drugs. Now, drug dealers may get into trouble, but usually they send someone young, under 18, and they get a rap and get out easy for something. But if they, drug dealer witness, several times heard in the newspaper that there was going to be a trial, but the witness was killed. So the drug dealer, as soon as he finds out who the witness is, he sends somebody to kill them. And so the crime keeps going on. Then there are those that want to help out. I remember I was taking things out of the car. This one guy says, "Please let me help you. I'll take a box in for you." So I gave him a small box. He took it outside, came right back out, and said, "I want $20 for doing that." For a little box, he wanted $20 just to run it in and back out quick. I said, "That's not going to happen." But they want to help out, but they want big money for helping out. Then I heard of this other guy that could put down carpeting, and he was could put carpeting for us, and so I gave him a down payment of money so he could go buy the carpet and put it in, and that was the last I heard of him. He just took the money and used it for drugs. There was another guy who was given a lot of money to build a restaurant. He was a builder, a carpenter, and they gave him a lot of money to build a restaurant, and he spent all the money on drugs. Then some offered to fix my car. They ended up putting the brakes on backwards. Another one, they, I guess, installed the carburetor wrong, and then the car caught on fire. Then I remember going to jail and talking to somebody. I can't remember if he was in or out of jail, but he wanted me to get him out of jail. He didn't do it. His twin cousin did it, who looks just like him. He's the one that did it. And I didn't really want to go to jails because mainly they want you, they tell you some story, they didn't do it, they need help in getting out of jail. So that's a special calling for somebody else. It wasn't for me to just listen to them on how they want me to get them out of jail. There's this one guy that I met there at the outreach center, and he was so mad and furious because he got AIDS from somebody. and he was just mad at the world, mad that he had AIDS. I'm not sure how long he had to live. But what he wanted to do was to get as many people, to give them his AIDS. So he might want to have sex with as many people as he wanted so he could give them AIDS. A sad situation. I remember I would eat with the people in the outreach center, and then one day I got very, very sick. I found out it was hepatitis A. Somebody was helping make the meal. They wanted to help out, but they had hepatitis, and now I got hepatitis, and I was in bed for a whole month. It was the most terrible disease I've had. I've even had some COVID, but this was worse. And a jaundice where you turn yellow, and my poop turned white. And it was just a terrible experience. On top of that, my wife got hepatitis, and she was pregnant with our son. So it was a bad situation there for over a month. Now, the goals in life for the people in the inner city and poverty is a lot different than in the suburbs. One of the main goals for a lot of the young people was to become a drug dealer. That was the big thing. The drug dealer was the most important person in the neighborhood. He was rich. He had a big fancy car, and everybody wanted to be a drug dealer. And so they would drop out of school, and they would be low-level dealing drugs on the street corner for the big kingpin. And since being underage, they could easily get out of jail, and so it'd be always those young to do the dirty work and sell the drugs. Then another goal was getting on SSI. If I can just only get on SSI, that would solve all my problems. I would have money, and there would be a place around the corner where they would give out their SSI money. And then usually as soon as they get out, there would be someone there who would want them to go get drunk or go get high with them and get their money. And education, that was a waste of time. You didn't need an education. You could deal drugs on the street. I remember getting a call. Someone wanted to know what I was doing, and I was told them this was in the morning. I was working on my thesis. I was going to seminary, and she wanted to know what I was doing in the afternoon then. Like a thesis only takes you a morning to do, and that's it. They don't understand how much time and energy goes to in a thesis or a dissertation. I think my dissertation took like 9 months to research and write. But these goals just amazed me. Sometimes I'd wonder, is our helping hurting? Many drug addicts are out on the street because they've been kicked out of their house. They would steal everything in the house to buy more drugs. And so the parents kick their kids out on the street if they're doing drugs, or if they're high, they can't come in. And so that's why a lot of them are out in the street, because their parents or guardians would kick them out because they don't want someone stealing everything in their house. And so they end up on the street. And so they have to survive by becoming a master of manipulation. All sorts of sad stories of why you need to give them money. And that's a big no-no. Don't give money. If they say, I need money to go to the hospital, I say, I'll take you to the hospital. Or they'll say, I'm trying to get off drugs. I need some money to go to a rehab place. They just want the money, but it's not going to go for that. They just want it for drugs. And they may be very sincere, a lot of them very sincere. They want to get off drugs, but they just can't. Now, there was a mother who came to our church. Sunday school would bring her 5 children there to Sunday school and church. And someone, I don't know who, helped them out by giving them a house where they could live in this house. And that was very kind of them to do that. Then I heard, I don't know, it was some months later, a year later, that she had sold the house and used all the money for drugs. A very sad situation. And sometimes it seems to me like sometimes our helping was hurting them. Here's some resources. If they're hungry, there's soup kitchens they can go to. You can look it up in your neighborhoods. For where we are, there was one right across the street, very convenient. There was a food bank as well where we could get food and give out food to those in need. The food bank was very helpful. Campbell's Soup donated a whole big truckload of soup that was going to go bad or just out of date, but still good, that we could use. And we used that for a long time, all the soup that we got from them. Then there's rescue missions that they can go to. Drug programs as well that are available. So there are a number of resources that can help them out if they're willing to go. But some are just, like they said, I don't want to stop. They enjoy getting the high. Now, after over 10 years of this, it became too much for me. There was too many people, too many problems, not enough money, not enough help. I went to school to get I got a Master of Counseling degree to help out, but it was still too much. And so what I decided was to get a larger organization that had more money, more people to help out, and I turned the outreach center over to them. Another part of the building, someone bought to start their own outreach center. So that's what happened, that other organizations took over what was becoming too much for me to do all by myself. And be sure to stay tuned. We'll have more videos coming. The next one will be about women on the street, the prostitutes that we had to deal with. Thank you for watching, and make sure you like and ring the bell. Thank you.